blessed by many.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know, sometimes the most unexpected places online can take us on the most fascinating journeys.
That's the beauty of the internet, right? It's like this endless rabbit hole of human experience.
Exactly. And today's rabbit hole leads us to a YouTube channel called Blessed by Many, ENT. Now, I know at first glance, it might seem like your average everyday vlog.
Right, you see those quick cuts, those casual off-the-cuff remarks.
But trust me on this, folks. Beneath the surface, there's this really interesting undercurrent of like raw emotion and anxieties, aspirations that I think a lot of us can relate to.
Absolutely, and it's in those seemingly random moments where we really get a glimpse into the creator's worldview, like their commentary about bridges.
Bridges. Okay, so maybe not the first thing that screams deep dive, but go on. I'm intrigued.
So they start talking about this new bridge, right? And you can hear the admiration in their voice. Properly built, they call it.
Okay, I'm sensing some strong feelings about infrastructure here.
But then it's like a switch flips. They bring up the key bridge collapse, and you can practically feel the anxiety creeping in. It's this stark contrast between stability and, well, the fear of things falling apart.
Wow, yeah, I see what you mean about raw emotion. It's like even the things that are supposed to keep us safe, they can crumble.
Exactly. And that search for something solid to hold on to, something dependable in a world that often feels anything but, it becomes a recurring theme throughout the channel.
And you know, it makes me think about another theme that keeps popping up, this drive to make it. The creator is constantly throwing out phrases like stacking the dividends, calling up all this money, even get me the 60 billion. It's like, whoa, there's some serious ambition there.
And it's fascinating, right? Because it taps into this whole conversation we've been having as a society about hustle culture and the idea that financial success equals security, respect, peace of mind.
But is it really that simple, though? I mean, is it just about the money, or is there something deeper driving this ambition?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because I think what we're actually seeing here is a yearning for something that money can't always buy. A sense of control, a way to silence those anxieties about a world where, well, bridges can collapse. And that's something a lot of us can relate to, right?
For sure. And it makes you wonder, what is it about this creator's life, their experiences, that's fueling this intense need for security?
Right, like what are they striving to build for themselves? And what happens when we start to unpack those motivations?
You know, speaking of things money can't buy, there's this whole other side to the creator that really struck me, this like deep yearning for peace.
Oh, absolutely. It comes up again and again, doesn't it?
Right. Find their peace. Stay out the way. It's almost like they're trying to manifest it, you know?
Totally. And it makes you wonder, like, what kind of chaos are they experiencing that makes them crave that peace so much?
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because they don't shy away from hinting at a past that might have been, well, let's just say a little less than peaceful.
Right. There are those moments where they'll say things like, normally I'd be hitting a Yoa or a different type of piece. And you're like, okay, there's a story there.
Totally. And I think it makes this whole journey, this search for both success and inner peace, so much more relatable, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're all works in progress, right?
Absolutely. And it kind of challenges this idea that you reach a certain level of success, a certain bank balance, and suddenly all your inner turmoil just disappears.
Right. Like, is it even possible to find true inner peace when you're still striving, still hustling, still navigating a world that can feel chaotic?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think what makes this creator so fascinating is that they seem to be grappling with that tension head on.
And that's where their relationship with nature comes in, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like we go from these scenes of the city, the bridge, the hustle, to these moments where they're out by the water, just breathing, finding some kind of solace in the open space.
It's like a release valve, isn't it? Like they're finding refuge in the natural world from the anxieties of urban life.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about how we all seek out those moments of peace, those escapes from the daily grind.
Right. And for some people, maybe that entrepreneurial drive, that hustle, it's all about creating a life where you have the freedom to choose those moments, to step away from the chaos when you need to.
And you know what's really interesting to me? It's like they're inviting us along for the ride. Like that whole like share, subscribe thing that we see so much online.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Right.
But with this creator, it feels different somehow. It's less about like, look at me, and more about, hey, I'm figuring this out as I go, and maybe you are too.
I see what you mean. It's like they're building a community around this shared experience of trying to find your place in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize, like, Even in these kind of unconventional online spaces, people are searching for connection, for something real. So, we started this deep dive into Blessed Be Many ENT, and I got to be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect. But this whole journey through one creator's raw, unfiltered thoughts, it's actually been kind of profound.
I totally agree. It just goes to show you, you can find these little nuggets of wisdom in the most unexpected places.
Right. You don't always need a fancy self-help guru or a best-selling book to find meaning and connection. Sometimes it's just about listening to someone else's story and realizing, hey, we're not so different after all.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really beautiful thing about the internet, right? It has the power to connect us in ways we never thought possible. So yeah, this deep dive has really been a reminder that even in those seemingly chaotic corners of the web, people are grappling with these universal themes of ambition, peace, finding their place.
And sometimes just hearing someone else articulate those struggles, even in a raw, unfiltered way, can make us feel a little less alone in our own journeys.
Exactly. It's like a reminder that we're all works in progress, right? Constantly evolving, searching for those moments of peace and connection.
So, to everyone listening, the next time you find yourself scrolling through that endless feed of content, take a moment to really listen. You never know what you might learn, what connections you might make, or what unexpected insights you might uncover about yourself and the world around you.
Well said. And on that note, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.
You already know it's blessed by many.